All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol HYLN, Hyliion Holdings Corp. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel. Invest for tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And before we jump into this chart, I do want to announce the launch of my website. I just launched it last week. I highly recommend going to check it out if you haven't seen it already. There is a nice intro video that goes ahead and breaks everything down to give you the forward outlook on the website. There's the forums page where you'll see the different member accesses that you'll have once you become a member of the website, where you'll be able to see the stock picks forum, the daily watch list. You'll be able to participate in the gathering of investors and how to manage the intangible, which is a further extension of just talking about stocks, right? So here we are with the member options, and you can choose one or the other. And on the bottom, you'll be able to see what each one gives you access to. This is completely optional, but I wanted to make you every single investor aware of the fact that I did launch the website already and it's up and running. I'm thankful for those of you that have joined, and all of you that have not had a chance to see it. I want you guys to go ahead and take a moment, if you do, to go ahead and see what the website has. And for those of you that have stopped by to see it and haven't joined, I want to thank you guys as well for taking the time to see the website. So let's jump into HYLN here. So HYLN was holding itself up above that 1783 mark that I talked about. Now we're slightly below it. It broke through support, and we want to see here what's the next support level. So I actually want to get this to the T and zoom in here. What's the next support level if this breaks to newer lows, right? We got to see how much further it's going into newer lows. So the lowest point here that we can look at, which is right here to the T, is 1569. That is our next support level after 1738. As you can see, that dotted line right here up top, right here, the small circles, and then the dotted line, which is right here a little bit bigger in spaces, lands right there. So 1569 is our support, and we have that small window between 1569 and 1738 to see what's going to go on and how the stock is going to react. But I want every single investor to be aware of those lows. That's the next point of reference, and that's the point of reference we want to watch for as this continues to play out. Obviously, it broke through support, which was slightly above that 1783 mark. I had stated if it broke through support, watch how it's reacting between 1783 and the support. It broke through both of them, and now we're sitting at 1738. So let's look at this closely, and I'm actually going to pull up the MACD and another indicator that I like to use during intratrade, during the day, as stocks are playing out, to make decisions and see what's going on, and just to look at it and see what it's showing here. It's a little bit hard to kind of distinguish what's going on with the low volume, obviously in the after hours, but it's always good to see at all the indicators and see other points here on what's going on and what they're showing us, right? So let's go ahead and pull these up so we can see what other indications are being shown here. So let's go ahead and do the moving average so we can see it here. See right there. And then let's do the MACD. So let's see what these indications are showing. So we're slightly below the moving average that's really close to the price, right? This is the 50-day moving average. This is a closer one. And this one right here shows you what's going on with the stock. So the stock is slightly below it. You could see that right there. I mean, it's so small amount of space, but it's below it. If the stock can break through it and hold itself above it, it could probably have a breakthrough and get closer to resistance and probably even break through it. That's something we need to look for as this plays out during the rest of the day. But when you look at this, even though these bars are looking like it's going upwards, the volume here is pretty low. I mean, in the last couple of hours of the day, most of these had less than 15,000 between these two. This is the only one that had over 15,000 at 18, and then it goes back down to 7, and then 27. It went up in volume. It's a red candlestick, high volume of sales, and then it's still showing a green bar. So it's slightly showing momentum, but in these last couple of hours, you can't really say that that was momentum. If anything, it's kind of just sitting there. And the last candlestick is 200. So that's why I'm saying it's hard to say, okay, after hours, that this is going to indicate it's going to continue. And you could see that the slope here is slowly coming to an end, right? Slowly. But that doesn't always mean that, because when you look at the previous MACD experiences, it comes up and then it just falls right down like it happened here in that previous time. So it's slowly coming back. It's slowly showing momentum. But we need to look here closely tomorrow, early in the morning, how this is reacting. Is it going with that light green color? Because once the light green color of bars start to show up, as you can see here, it's when things are starting to go back down to level off to the midway point. And if it's actually on its way to go in the other direction, as you can see here, it turned lighter, and then it got dark red, and it's holding itself down. So a reversal, we got to see. It has to break through this point. It has to break through resistance. In my personal opinion, it still has to break through the 50-day moving average to see this reversal gain strength, right? Like it did here on this point where it broke through the 50-day moving average and gained strength from that point forward with breaking through this other moving average that's a lot closer. That right there is a true indication, but we need to watch this. Could it have a reversal? It certainly can, but this volume is way too low in the last couple of hours, and we need to watch this. Like, really watch this, because right now it's hitting newer lows as we speak. It's moving deeper into bearish territory, and if this switches over to lighter green bars, it could signify that it's about to level back off to the middle and possibly even end up in red bars. But when you look at the line's trend, it's showing us here that it's working its way back up. So we need to watch this super close, because Hyliion could be on its way to a slight reversal. Now, I can't say how far up it's going and so forth, because we need to see how it reacts, but it could actually be on its way back up. And that's very interesting, but they haven't broken through that moving average that needs to be broken through here, which is literally a cent above it, but it keeps trailing over it. So tomorrow in the morning is going to be some interesting stuff to pay close attention to, and even the rest of the day on if this is going to continue downwards, right? Because it could have that effect where it looks like it's coming back up, and the perfect example is right here. You can actually see it. It looked like it was going back up, and it brings itself back up, and it falls back down. Now, after that low and all this red bars, right? Because that's what it's looking like here. It can start small, right? Small green bars, as I circled there, and then continue upwards with darker green bars, and that could be the case here, and it looks like it's going up slowly. There's some momentum. Doesn't break through the 50-day moving average. It might break slightly through the resistance or get close to it, and then comes right back down like it did here, fall down to a low, and then from that point forward, it could actually start to rise up and hit newer highs. That's a possibility as well. So just based off the history, we need to watch this closely. Now, like I said, if it starts going bigger into green bars and this line does start the trend of working its way up and actually breaks through the midway point, not just slowly come up and then fall back down. That's almost like a resistance in this case down here. It has to break through that midway point and work its way up above it. It could actually start a reversal and get back up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. So we're going to watch this closely. We're going to see what's going to happen these coming days. But I wanted to show you guys with these other indicators, like I did in one of the previous videos when I had used it and stated if it continued in that trajectory and the bulls can actually break through the closer moving average and so forth, it would have a point where it would break out, and it certainly did that. It did that here. It was back on the 4th, and then leading into the 7th, we saw that, and I'll go ahead and show that in one of the videos. If you guys have not had a chance to see that video, I'm going to go ahead and put the link down below, but you could see that. So I wanted to go pull those out so that everyone is aware that there is a possibility If this holds itself up from hitting newer supports, it could be on its way back up. But me personally, other than just the MACD and the closer moving average, I need to see this break the 50-day moving average and turn it into a support so that the bulls can actually get deeper into bullish territory. But let's look at the indicators here based off of the chart for tomorrow. So the 50-day moving average is 1835. Super important for the bulls to break through that. And right now we're below it in bearish territory. Before getting there, the bulls have the resistance to break through. But let's look at our support. This is a new low here, and that's 1711. If this gets broken through, I want to emphasize to all investors, pay very close attention to how the stock is reacting, how quickly is it moving to newer lows, and hitting newer support levels, because it's going to move further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. So very, very important to watch how HYLN stock is reacting. If it breaks through support, how quickly is it moving to newer lows, and are the bulls trying to reappear? We can see here that the bears have been dominating, and there is going to be a point where the bulls can actually take advantage of the exhaustion of the bears and bring this one back up. But we still need to watch as this is hitting newer lows. And then we have the $15 mark range to pay close attention to as well. So what is our resistance and what are the bulls aiming towards? Well, their true goal is the 50-day moving average, but before getting there, they need a breakthrough resistance, and that's 1795. They need to turn 1795 into a support, break away from it, and get closer to the 50-day moving average to get back into bullish territory. Super important for the bulls to break through 1795. Now, I want every single investor to be aware that if the bulls break through 1795, it does not signify that the bulls have gained control and that the chart is in their control and that they're guaranteed to get back into bullish territory. This is just an indicator for us investors to know where this is heading, and if it's heading in the upward direction, and if it's building momentum to continue by turning it into a support and holding itself up above it. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. 1795 does not signify that the bulls are guaranteed to break through the 50-day moving average. Now, if the bulls accomplish breaking through 1795, turn it into a support and pull away from it in the upward direction and break through the 50-day moving average, the most important resistance level in bullish territory to hit even newer highs and new resistance levels is up here at 1921. That's the highest point before the fall. So I want every single investor to be aware of that as well for the next coming days and weeks according to the volatility of this stock in the upward direction. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.